here in Atlanta where the SEC Championship was played late yesterday. Maybe some repercussions from that today. Down the sidelines we go with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, we've been noticing some issues on the field today. It turns out that the hash marks were painted too close together. They're about 7 inches from how they should be. Both teams are aware of it. The NFL says that they will adjust it by moving the ball, spotting the ball where the hash mark should be, and both teams know about it and they can adjust. Back here.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And of course, they had to redo the field. The college hashes are different, so quick turnaround for the field. We'll see if that affects even the kicking game.
It's better than what we saw last night in Indianapolis, where they actually had to repair the field for the Big Ten championship game.
And we are underway. Here we go from Atlanta as Sherrills has the kickoff and out across the 20, near the 25, and that's where we will see this scorching hot offense for Minnesota, led by the player of the month in quarterback Case Keenum. Last 7 games, it's pretty hard to be much better than that. 7-0, make that 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He does not get sacked. He's led an offense that is currently 5th in the National Football League, averaging 375 yards a game. And on first down, they'll fake the run. Going to toss it near side, get it out to Diggs. Stephon Diggs makes a move, has a first down, and a big pickup of 13 on the first play of the game.
So they've been running the ball effectively, so they come out with play action, show the run fake to Latavius Murray, and then they get it out into the flat. Watch this block by number 89 in white, David Morgan. Excellent block on Bleedy Ray Wilson, the cornerback, allowed Diggs to cut it back inside for additional yardage upfield.
Hey, 44, slip! Hey, 20!
Here is Latavius Murray, who's kind of cemented himself as the #1 back now. Dalvin Cook, the rookie, was leading the league in rushing when he got hurt in week 4. Murray and McKinnon share, but it's been more of Murray. Now, another storyline in this game is this. We told you the Falcons get Devontae Freeman back. They're without 2 of their top 3 cornerbacks in this game, Charles. Desmond Trufant, their #1, and Brian Poole, who was supposed to play, kind of felt something yesterday in the back, and he's out. That's a problem.
Hurt his back against Tampa Bay. Thought he'd be able to go and just didn't feel right in pregame warmups. So they have to make some change in the secondary, led by Ricardo Allen playing the nickel corner.
Bleedy Ray Wilson is making his first start of the year, number 33. They'll run it here. McKinnon up the middle for a nice gain. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and short. So inactives today. Those are the 2 biggies for Atlanta, with Trufant there and Poole, their cornerbacks. For Minnesota, Remmers, the starting right tackle. However, he's missed the last month, and they played pretty well without him.
Rashad Hill has moved into that spot, number 69. An excellent pass protector and getting more physical in the run game.
Minnesota's 2nd best in the NFL on 3rd down. Time. Keenum hit as he throws. Tipped away. Alford had a chance to pick it up, but he knocked it down, and the Falcons hold.
And interesting to me, on their first 3rd down, you just mentioned the guys who are out of the lineup. Desmond Trufant, starting corner. Brian Poole, starting nickel corner. They go at the other starting corner, Robert Alford, and Alford's more than up to the task, knocking it away from Stephon Diggs. You would think for that first attempt, you might try one of the new guys. They went after the vet, and he won.
So 1 first down, and then the Vikings will punt it away. And Andre Roberts back to receive. Quigley gets it off. Roberts, fair catch up across the 20 to the 22, and that's where we get to see Atlanta and their offense. And Julio Jones coming off a record-setting performance last week. He's on the field. Next. This is a big game. Both these teams of the playoffs started today are in it. Minnesota's trying to get the best record in the league, and all of a sudden the Falcons are right back in the NFC South race. Carolina and New Orleans play each other later today on Fox. So here comes Atlanta with Devontae Freeman back after missing 2 weeks with a concussion. They'll throw it on first. There's Jones in and out of the hands. Incomplete. Well, he didn't do that much last week because he had over 250 receiving last week in the win over Tampa.
And could you hear the crowd? They're not used to this either. And this is a missed opportunity for Julio Jones because Xavier Rhodes is going to be on him man for man all game. Coverage will likely be tighter on most throws. Jones clearly won that battle off the line of scrimmage, had separation. He catches it, he's still running across field.
On second down, they'll run it. Freeman is back, bouncing off his own lineman, and it gets buried backwards. This Vikings defense so good. It was Joseph on the stop and a third down and long.
Kevin, you always talk about how you love Julio Jones because he's not a diva. He's not just a receiver that goes out and catch the ball and that's it. He's a complete one. And he just lined up Andrew Sendejo on that one on a nice crackback block, perfectly legal, and dropped him.
The Falcons are the #1 team in third down in the league. Matter of fact, last 3 weeks, they're 66%, which is nuts. The Vikings, the best defensively. That's a matchup. 3rd and 10. Ryan going to come near side. Sanu knocked away beautifully. And a flag. Maybe not so beautifully. Alexander on the coverage.
Let's see which way this one goes because they were both jostling. Waynes has both hands on his arms. I think this will go, Mackenzie Alexander.
Defense. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
I think that's a good call because both hands were placed on the arms of Mohamed Sanu by Mackenzie Alexander, detaining him for just a moment. Thought it was a nice call by the officials. They had it right.
So a rare 3rd and long conversion against Minnesota's defense. Ryan. Handoff, nowhere to go. The first couple running plays just had no shot. That time it was Coleman. And a 2nd down and long. So Matt Ryan, the reigning league MVP, first 6 games got off to a little rocky start. Remember, new offensive coordinator. However, last 5, Charles, it's a lot like that team from last year, don't they?
They're rounding into form. New parts, remember, new offensive coordinator in Steve Sarkisian. Matt Ryan, as he says, every year is new, even if it's the same guys. And don't forget, everyone's coming after them. They're the defending NFC champs.
2nd down, 4-man rush. Ryan stays incomplete. It's Hooper, the tight end. And the Who comes down from the crowd, an immediate tackle. So a 3rd down is coming up. This Vikings defense, 5th in the league in scoring, 5th in the league in total defense, and as I mentioned, #1 against 3rd down. Quick go here for Atlanta. Ryan in trouble. Completes first down. It's Toilolo rumbling across midfield. And for Ryan, a hookup of 16 yards.
And you just mentioned Vikings best against 3rd down offense, right? So here's the #1 3rd down offense in the league going against them. But let's remember, for 3rd down, if it's 3rd and 7 or more, it tilts towards the Vikings. People don't convert very often against them. You get it down to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, that's more in the wheelhouse of the Falcons. They believe that's manageable.
That's Gabriel in motion. Freeman the back, fake to him. Coming near side, Gabriel trying to set up. Great tackle. Harrison Smith. 2 penalty flags fly, though. One from behind the line of scrimmage and the other from the other side. So let's see what these are. Brad Allen, our referee today. Good crew.
One of them should be against Jake Matthews with a push in the back on the block coming out. The left tackle for Atlanta.
Illegal block in the back. Number 70. Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
2 flags on the same thing, and that'll move the Falcons backwards. Interesting. We talked to Xavier Rhodes yesterday, and you asked him, so give us an idea. How often will you be on Julio Jones?
And he said, do I have to say it? And I said, yes, you do. And he said, well, I'll just put it to you this way. If Julio Jones lines up at running back, I'll be lining up at linebacker. So he's going to be on him all game long. And I want to see the Vikings secondary, if they keep an eye towards potentially doubling him at times as well.
It's a heck of a matchup, right? Rhodes has turned into one of the best in the league. Here's Freeman to run it. Stretch right. Gets through one seam and then is hog-tied down by Gideon, the rookie linebacker, after a gain of 5. And even Mike Zimmer admitted on that. He said, look, field's 53.5 yards long, right? At some point, you can only cover him for so long. So intimating, look, probably have some help along the way.
Not only help, but what he's also intimating is, I need my pass rush.
Yes.
I want the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands quicker. I don't want him sitting back there, because the longer he's back there, the more opportunity for Julio Jones to get away from Xavier Rhodes.
This time, though, it's Terrence Newman on Julio Jones in the slot. A little different on this matchup, and they're looking this way, but they're going to get to Hooper. Gets a block across the original line of scrimmage, and then ridden out of bounds by Anthony Barr, and he'll come up for another third down. But Jones, that time, they used him in the slot as a blocker. We already saw his blocking skill early in the game. And so Atlanta's converted the first couple third downs. Here's another.
Right there, number 11 in red against Terrence Newman allows Hooper to catch the ball and get upfield and put them in position again. Now remember, this is 3rd and 8. This is advantage Vikings. They get exotic on defense now.
They give it to Freeman on a run. Freeman has room. Devontae Freeman. Flag comes in. A big run at a first down for Freeman, but let's see what the penalty is. Interesting call from Steve Sarkisian, and this may
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty.
be coming
Still
back.
third down.
And they really wasted a gutty call, because this is going to go against Alex Mack, the center. But a gutty call by the offense coordinator, Steve Sarkisian. So right in here is where the hold is called. But look at that hole. Look at the block by Sanu, number 12. Another block right there on the corner by number 18, Taylor Gabriel. And what I mean by gutty call, 3rd and 8, running inside like that. Most people think you're crazy to do that. They felt like they had it set up, and they executed it, other than the hold by Alex Mack.
Sarkisian has really done a nice job. Hard to follow in the footsteps of the #1 offense in the league last year, but they've rounded into form the last month. This is a pretty tough ask, though. Moving back after the penalty. 3rd down and 12 as that run negated. 3-man rush this time. Ryan over the middle with a catch. Coleman up, slithers his way near the 40. And believe it or not, this is near field goal range. Matt Bryant was drilling them from 58 yards earlier, and I wonder what they're thinking here. 4th down.
Don't forget how aggressive Atlanta always is under Dan Quinn. It's also prime position for them to go for it.
And they will. Fourth and 2, opening drive for Atlanta.
Extra offensive lineman in, number 63, Ben Garland, extra tight end in as well.
And a whistle and a timeout on the field as Minnesota takes a timeout. So if nothing else, certainly made Minnesota think about this a little bit. Interesting call opening drive of the game.
Should we really be surprised, though, with Dan Quinn?
No.
Because Dan Quinn, to me, this is a contrast of head coaches who are defensive-minded guys. Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator, he's old school. You give me 21 points, guys, I think we're going to win the game. But don't mess up my defense. Dan Quinn, all he talks about is relentlessly attacking on offense, which is unusual for a defensive-minded head coach. Many people think it cost him the Super Bowl last year, but he hasn't strayed from that mantra, that message, and that identity.
There is Bryant. Like I said, he was hitting 58-yarders in warm-ups, no problem, but they're going. 4th and 2. They back off the blitz. Ryan has time. In the flat, Coleman, first down. And more to Tevin Coleman. And the play call works like a charm, and Atlanta converts on 4th.
What did we say at the top of the show? Utilize the running backs, Atlanta, to isolate against their linebackers. Watch him get out into space. Anthony Barr gets picked off as he tries to cover him because Eric Kendricks is on the opposite side. So this is where Atlanta thinks they have an advantage. 2 excellent pass-catching running backs. Even though the linebackers of Minnesota are playing a Pro Bowl level, they like them in space.
Big drive on the opener. 11th play for Atlanta. Freeman to run it. Right side, patiently gets through inside the 20. Another penalty flies. And that may be going backwards again. On your point, as we wait for Brad Allen to sort this out, as great as Julio Jones and Matt Ryan are, you hit on something. That matchup with running backs is probably their best one against anybody in the league, right?
Holding. Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's a tremendous one because you get those linebackers into space. And right here, that's Ben Garland, the extra offensive lineman coming in playing guard. Looks like a tremendous block to me, but what they're saying is he must have had a hold inside grabbing the cloth. To me, that looked like an excellent pancake block and put him down.
Garland has played more and more. He's even taken some snaps away from Wes Schweitzer at right guard. A lot of the extra lineman stuff too. Third penalty moves him back. Faking the run. Ryan going to air it out. Going deep for Coleman. Incomplete. He overthrew him. He had a cornerback in Newman on him, but Ryan couldn't get him the ball.
So you just told us what the difference was. In this case, now you've got him isolated in space. But that's Terrence Newman. That's a cornerback who's been to 2 Pro Bowls in his career. He may be 39, but he can still run and move, and you just saw excellent coverage on that play. And one last point, you mentioned Ben Garland. He is in now for Andy Levitri, number 67. He's been playing there. I thought he was in as an extra. He's playing left guard for Levitri right now.
Ryan has time again. Now the pocket collapses and is incomplete. Griffin got there at the end to help make that pass an incompletion. We have our first game break, and let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to New Jersey. Chiefs up early, 7-0, when Travis Kelce is the recipient of this Alex Smith's pass, his second of the day already. Chiefs up early in what has been an anemic offense. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
Yeah, Carissa, you're right. Certainly a little change last time they're at MetLife, right?
No, last time was the Giants game, and they were upset in that one. But Travis Kelce, you can isolate him on anyone.
Third down, 17. Ryan going to hand off Freeman. Got a big hole up the middle, down to the 20. They went for it already on 4th down once, but this is a 4th and 6, and this will be a field goal try.
I think it's the right play. You end up running inside again, a draw, and you pick up yardage. You take your 3 here against a very tough Minnesota defense, and you're happy with it. You know, obviously you want to get a touchdown, but you take 3 anytime you get a chance against this defense, you'll take it all game long.
This will be a 38-yard attempt for Matt Bryant. He's having another fabulous year, Pro Bowler last year. 42 years old, Matt Bryant, and as good as ever. Snap and hold her down. The kick is perfect, and Atlanta on the board first with a long drive. It puts them up 3-0 on Minnesota. There was a penalty on this play. We missed the best move of the game early on. Okay,
yeah,
this is Freeman.
The best move is not our player. It is our leader. Whoop! Look at Pam Oliver. Folks, it's not that she's never lost it. It's not that she still has. She's never lost it.
She's a Hall of Famer at FAMU, track star in college, and by the way, the hair flip at the end, just to make sure everything got back in place. That's impressive, Pammy.
Pam's got game.
Way to go. So Atlanta with a long drive, 16 plays on their opening series, ends with a 38-yard field goal, and that's where we are right now. Minnesota's second chance on offense with Case Keenum. And if you haven't been paying attention, let's make a case for Case, if you will. Last 3 starts, as good as anybody, right? 70% plus completion percentage in 3 straight games. Never done that before. That's a first. 114 passer rating. That's second best in the league. Tom Brady better. Shocking in that 3-game stretch. And then look at the yards per pass attempt. 8.9. Only Phillip Rivers is slightly better. That's how good he's been.
An Atlanta coach told us in pregame that if you didn't know any better, you turn on the film and you're saying you're getting ready for one of the elite quarterbacks in the league the way he's playing.
Here's Murray to run it. Latavius Murray falls forward for a gain of 4 yards, and the run game has been impressive, especially when you lose the guy who was leading the league in rushing at Dalvin Cook the first month.
And then you get two-headed monster there of Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon, who have really picked up the slack in a big way, as well as an offensive line that loves to run block.
Here's Keenum, 5-man rush. He has time, though. Still looking. Going to throw it deep. Looking for Thielen. Adjusting. Diving. Caught it, but he's out of bounds. And there is a penalty flag, too, back at the 43 in the middle of the field.
The coverage downfield was tremendous.
Holding. Defense, number 45. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So it was a holding attempt.
And that's one of the reasons why. But the coverage was so good for so long that oftentimes if you take too long, the hold actually gets exposed. You see right there, Bleedy Ray Wilson making Thielen adjust 2 or 3 times. But here's the route where Deion Jones hooks Kyle Rudolph and holds him up, and that's what they detected.
Keenum looks in the flat, doesn't want to go that way. Now comes back to Murray in the flat, makes the catch, and is taken out immediately by Vic Beasley.
They got Atlanta for holding on the last play, but in the early going here, the Atlanta defense is doing a really nice job of making Keenum hold the football, although he missed Adam Thielen right there. That was a busted coverage because 2 guys left, they just turned him loose. But all in all, they're making Keenum hold the football a lot longer than he wants to. So Atlanta's doing something right in confusing Case Keenum early.
Thielen gets a break. Raquan Treadwell is now in a wide receiver, top of your screen. On second down, Keenum going to swing it back to far side. He's got Ham, the fullback, makes the man miss. C.J. Ham out for a first down. I don't think your fullback's supposed to have moves like that.
Not out of Augustana of South Dakota. He's definitely not supposed to have those kind of moves. But the big one was right here where he made Vic Beasley, number 44, miss him in open field. One of the toughest things in football, open field tackling.
On the fake, Keenum pressure, delivers coming near side. It's Michael Floyd who gets into Atlanta territory down to the 49-yard line. What a gorgeous new stadium this is. Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. Arthur Blank putting all of his resources into this place, and it is a gem. Second and 5. Passing again. Keenum has time again. Wide open McKinnon. First down inside the 40. Nobody covered Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield that time, and Minnesota continues to march.
Here's Vic Beasley, known as a pass rusher. He's going to drop into coverage. And to me, that's a win for any offense when Vic Beasley's not rushing the passer. Now it's an open field play. Remember, he just missed one. Good move by Minnesota.
Fake again. Keenum going to let it rip coming down the field. Almost a one-hander by Rudolph. And it's incomplete. You know, it's interesting, Charles, because Minnesota explosive plays, they're 4th best in the league. They get a lot of big plays. But Mike Zimmer said, as we look at the replays, you know what? We have to be methodical going down the field against these guys. You don't normally hear that.
You don't normally hear it, but what you got there was good coverage by Bleedy Ray Wilson. But he's saying it because Atlanta doesn't give up very many big explosive plays. So he's not counting on changing that pattern. So he wants to take care of the ball and move it methodically down the field. And they're playing at a pretty quick tempo today.
They are. On second down, 4-man rush. Keenan steps away, going deep. He's got Diggs. Did he get his feet in bounds? He did. Oh, a beauty to Stephon Diggs.
I thought he ran out of room. There he's catching the football. Feet are in the air,
He's
and
out.
the first foot that hits is in the white. Let's take a look again. Ball's hitting his hands, and the second foot, I don't think that's going to be a catch when they take a look at it.
It's a great catch. And the first replay really showed it. When he caught the ball, the right foot was up from the turf. Tremendous effort to Diggs. Watch the left foot, I should say. Oh, the right foot. I was right. He's out. Great effort.
Great effort by Diggs. Keenum didn't leave him enough room to fade into the sideline, but they still nearly completed it.
Third down and 10. Keenum in trouble. Dropped, and he gets the throw off. It's incomplete. Grady Jarrett got pressure up the middle.
Harken back to Super Bowl 51. And Grady Jarrett, who had 3 sacks in that game, see him work against Pat Elflein, the rookie center, used his hands very well to create separation from the blocker and get past him and dump Case Keenum and cause the incompletion.
They are ruling that now, Charles, a sack for Jarrett. So grasp and control. It's a loss of 9, and that means a punt is coming up. So big play by Jarrett, stopping a nice drive, and Quigley out to punt it for the second time. Mike Zimmer called out his special teams to us yesterday. He said, "You've got to be better in all phases." They have struggled the last couple weeks. Roberts going to let it go, and that works if you're Mike Zimmer. How about dropping the ball down at the 2? Nice job by Ryan Quigley. Can't get a better punt than that. Falcons football and their lead, 3-0. Looking straight up at that state-of-the-art roof. It's like a giant pizza, and the slices all open up. So Atlanta on their second possession from their own 2, and they will run it. Trying to get a little breathing room, not too much to Tevin Coleman, and a penalty flag as well. Already penalties been a factor. Atlanta's got 4 of them already in this game.
Got a hyped up game. Both teams really sky high for this one.
And they're not a heavily penalized team.
No.
And this is going to be number 5.
The good thing for them is there's not much space to penalize them with.
Right.
Not like they're going to lose 15 here.
Mike Zimmer, I think, talking about just that. I think he may decline it. Let's see.
So coming down inside, Justin Hardy.
Illegal blocking the back. Number 14, offense. That penalty is declined. It's second down.
Well, he didn't do that very well because the guy he illegally blocked in the back, Harrison Smith, made the tackle. If you're going to go ahead and do it, make sure you keep him away from the pile.
Zimmer will deal with the 1-yard gain. He declines the penalty. I guess we'll call it a 2-yard gain. And so it'll be a second down and 8 with Coleman in the backfield.
Hey, Josh!
They will run it. Stretch far side. Coleman tries to get to the edge and has a decent run on second down for Kendricks. Wraps him up. So a third down coming up where Atlanta 1 of 3 so far in the game. Freeman back. There's number 24. Missed the last 2 weeks with a concussion. But not in there on this play.
Had good success getting the backs out of the backfield. Now they take Coleman and put him all the way at the top as a wide receiver.
Third down and 4. Ryan over the middle. High, incomplete. Sanu had his hands on it and could not bring it down. So 2 drops in the early going for Atlanta, and a punt is coming.
Sanu has the route he wants, working against Mackenzie Alexander. Quick slant, would have picked up the first down. Is it a little high? Yes, but that's the type of ball that Mohamed Sanu is used to catching as well. Should have come down with that one.
No question. Marcus Sherrills has good return skills. 5 touchdowns off punts in his career. None this year. Bosher from his own end zone. High, short kick. Has pressure on Bosher that time. Sherrills going to call a fair catch, but great field position. The defense did their job, and they get the ball back in a great spot.
The offense's last drive for Minnesota, killing the ball deep by Quigley inside the 2, holding them down, and now getting the ball out near midfield. That's what you call flipping field position for Minnesota and helping their offense.
So you see the first 2 possessions. Last time they had a nice drive going, but then the Grady Jarrett sack snuffed that out.
Hey, 22! Hey!
Start this drive from the 47. Handoff. Murray up the middle. Latavius Murray with the spin down to the Atlanta 45, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Hotly contested. 2 playoff teams raring to go, and after 1, it's Atlanta in front. The second quarter from Atlanta. Charles Davis, Pam Oliver. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Our entire NFL on Fox crew, glad to have you here. This beautiful new stadium for a big-time game in the NFC. Seeds 2 and 6 as the playoffs started today. Minnesota, great field position here. And they start the second quarter with a run, and with a run for nothing as McKinnon gets stymied, maybe a half a yard. Deion Jones and Keanu O'Neal were there, and a third and short is coming up.
Atlanta asked their defensive front to keep their linebackers clean, meaning the smallest defensive linebacker group. If you guys occupy the blocks up front, we'll float to the ball and make the tackle, and that's what they did there.
Hey, 4 block! Back!
Third down and 1. Up back is the fullback, and he's got a first down. C.J. Ham delivering a couple big plays today. Got an injury report down to the sidelines. We go with Pam.
Well, Kevin, the Minnesota Vikings are down a tight end, David Morgan, who's really helpful for the offense and run blocking. He is the injured player. Morgan is out with a concussion.
Well, that's interesting, Pam, because they do a lot of 3 tight ends, Charles, so that will change their playbook a little bit. Blake Bell, 81, is their other tight end.
Yeah, and where he probably got the injury was that block out in open field on Bleedy Ray Wilson early in the ballgame.
Kyle Rudolph was obviously the starting tight end. On first down to fake the run. Keenum has all day coming back to Murray, who's wide open. Latavius Murray puts the shoulder down on Beasley and picks up a nice gain on first down. And there's some talking after that one, after the 9-yard gain.
And when we talked with Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator in Minnesota, we talked about the passing game, and he said the way that Atlanta plays defense, a lot of 3-deep zone, a lot of what we call man-free, a free safety in the middle, man-to-man otherwise. He said it dictates the ball being thrown outside the numbers because that's where the holes are in the coverage, and that's what Minnesota's doing well. And how about Murray dropping the shoulder and getting extra yards?
He is a big physical runner. That's what he likes. In the backfield now on second down and 1. They'll give it to him. Murray spinning. He's got a first.
Going to be close, isn't it? But you like the spin, though.
I do like the spin.
And really what we're seeing from Murray on the last 2 plays is what Mike Zimmer told us in our meeting. I need more yardage after contact from my runners. I need more yardage after the catch from my receivers. And Murray on back-to-back plays did exactly that in both situations.
Interesting. So he is a little bit short. It'll be a third and a half a yard. I thought he had the first. And Vikings fans here in Atlanta, third down and 1. Handoff. That time he's got the first down to Murray. His running style, that physical running style. Pat Shurmur brought up something interesting with Murray about the offensive line. Said that Murray is a long strider.
Yeah, and what do you mean? And that means just what you expect, right? It takes a little bit longer to get started, not short, choppy steps. So the offensive line actually has to hold their block a little bit longer to allow them to get to the line of scrimmage clean so he can make a move or a cut. And the offensive line has been taking care of it.
First down. Good cut. Murray still going. Latavius Murray hurdles a defender. Murray inside the 5. Those long strides just had a run of 30.
Kevin, you just said Latavius Murray. This cut reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. See the patience, the hesitation, the view? Really nice job up front by the offensive line cleaning things up, but Murray having the patience not to press the run before the hole appeared. And then once it did, he was through it like a dart.
7 plays on this drive, 6 of them runs as Minnesota imposing their will. First down and goal. McKinnon in the game as Murray gets a break. They'll go to McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon gets a yard. Deion Jones was there on the hit.
Jerick McKinnon's a local guy. Sprayberry High School, not too far from right where we stand today, about 25, 30 minutes away. And he's the guy that they always told wasn't going to be a player. All the way back to youth football. Maybe you should try something different. You're too small. You're not recruitable. He wants to come back here into this area and prove to everyone He's got the goods.
Well, they bring in an extra lineman, they bring in the fullback, and here's another chance for him on second down. Now they change formation. Kyle Rudolph, top of your screen. 2 touchdowns last week for him. Keenan rolling that way, floating in end zone. There's McKinnon in front of his hometown fans.
You called it, Kevin. They showed one formation, then split out. Watch McKinnon work his way out here, and look at Rudolph running his route. And yes, that is what they call a rub if you're an offensive player. It's a pick if you're a defensive player. But because Rudolph doesn't stop his route, he's not going to get called for it. He runs through the guy, and then it's inadvertent contact. That was well done by Kyle Rudolph to not incur the penalty.
Second receiving touchdown of the year for McKinnon, and we get some movement here. Point is up and good, but it's not a play. As there is Jerick McKinnon at Sprayberry High School in Marietta, Georgia, rejoicing.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
This is a potentially big penalty because Kai Forbath has missed 5 extra points this year. There's the drive. Impressive one on the ground for the majority of it.
That was a really good example of Kyle Rudolph running the route the way you're supposed to. Run through the guy, don't stop, and they won't call the pick on you.
Try the extra point one more time. Forbath doinks it up and through. Well, it wasn't easy, but he put it through, and it gives Minnesota the lead. Latavius Murray, 30 yards, set him up for this. McKinnon, the touchdown. Choo-choo. The graphic there. Vikings have missed 5 extra points. It's the worst in the league, and this was well, listen, just listen. We didn't hear the doink. Trust me, the doink is there. Now they moved it back 5 yards because of the penalty. It's been an adventure because Forbath's been pretty good kicking. Bottom line is it's 7-3 Minnesota, and a good football game so far. Wow, taking it out is Roberts from deep in his own end zone, and that was not smart. That did not work out, as Sendejo was down there to make the tackle. And so Atlanta backed up in their own territory. The running backs, Murray, McKinnon, the hometown kid. 7-3 Minnesota.
You see Andre Roberts here just returned that kickoff. Keith Armstrong just left the screen there. He's a special teams coach. I don't know why you bring it out from that deep.
Ryan on the fake and a throw near side. There is the first catch for Jones. It went down to make a great catch. It was a low throw against Xavier Rhodes, and he's got a first down. So we've been telling you, watch that matchup all day long, and there's the first reception.
And they helped make up for the lost yardage from bringing it out from deep. And what they did was ran a drag route across the field, an under route for Julio Jones to try and get him away from Xavier Rhodes. Well done by Jones going down to pick the ball off of his shoelaces and turn it into a first down.
From the 30, they'll fake the run again. Ryan stands in, lets it rip over the middle. He's got a completion to Marvin Hall, who's got the catch. Just his second catch, first-year player. His other one was a touchdown.
A 40-yard touchdown against Miami. And remember, these last 2 passes were both on first down. And this one was against Xavier Rhodes, who wasn't working against Julio Jones. So think of it this way for Atlanta. With Minnesota, you expect more vanilla defenses on first and second down. They're trying to throw against those defenses before the pressure comes.
3 tight ends for Atlanta. They'll run. Freeman tripped up, stays on his feet. Devontae Freeman. Good effort because he was hit initially, but stayed on his feet to pick up a first down.
Left side, you get a nice pull by 63, Ben Garland, the left guard, and everyone else is locked up man on man against the white jerseyed Vikings. A terrific block by Garland, but everyone else also had a hand in that, able to match up against the Vikings front.
Julio Jones in motion, Rhodes right with him. Ryan to throw. Ryan steps up, throws, complete. It's Sanu who's inside the 25, and Matt Ryan is heating up.
And notice they're taking their shots at the Vikings defense on first down. Remember in our pregame feature, Michael Vick sat down with Mohamed Sanu, number 12, Julio Jones, number 11, and talked about their partnership. And Mohamed Sanu showing his hands after an earlier drop, getting the advantage there against Trey Waynes.
Yeah, now it's Sanu and Jones both on the top of your screen now. Another first down. From the 23, Ryan fakes pressure, steps away, looks to run, dumps it to Freeman, incomplete. A lot happening on that play. Looked like Ryan was going to run, and he had Freeman, just couldn't connect.
And should have run the ball because he ended up throwing it into double coverage for him. Now, notice he's going to try and put it to a spot. He wants to put it here and think that that's going to be clean, but look at the coverage come right there from Xavier Rhodes. Matt Ryan probably should have kept the football and continued upfield and gotten what he could out of that play.
Here's Jones and Rhodes getting tied up. Fun to watch that matchup today. Freeman remains in the game at tailback. And we get movement. Looked like on Hooper.
False start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Getting your cadence, fool your own guys, Charles.
Cadence, the movement, trying to get up, get into the right spot, and probably just had a little bit of a lapse right there, and it cost him. And now you see the work Julio Jones versus Xavier Rhodes. That was 2015 on the top today. 2 targets, 1 catch.
Yeah, 1 drop. Remember, first play of the game. Both Coleman and Freeman in the game and running back. 2nd and 15. 4-man rush. Ryan in trouble. Gets rid of it as he gets drilled. Complete, but not for much. Coleman on the catch. Kendricks on the hit.
There was a matchup that Atlanta likes. Running back against linebacker. But Kendricks played that very well. He's very good in open space, very quick to the football. And the difference is usually, can you hit your running back on the move as opposed to posting up as Tevin Coleman did there? Kendricks put him down on the spot.
Falcons, again, the number 1 team on 3rd down in the league against the number 1 defensive 3rd down team. This is a tough one, 3rd and 13. And Atlanta today 1 of 4. Griffin has that trash talking going, I think. He likes to do that. Line up against Jake Matthews. Ryan sees it, goes far side. Hooper complete, but that's well shy of a first down. He's down to the 18. But that is 5 yards shy of a first, and a field goal try is coming up.
And that's why it's so vital for Atlanta to play this game in 3rd and 5 or less. Manageable situations, get your opportunity to get first downs. If you're getting to 3rd and 7 or more, advantage goes way towards Minnesota, and they just snuffed out another drive at 3rd and 13.
Xavier Rhodes came off limping, and he's now down on 1 knee on the Viking sideline. Could be nothing. Hopefully it is. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Bryant from 36 yards. And he's got it. Bryant is 2 for 2. There's Rhodes, who's in some pain. We'll keep an eye on him. Falcons draw to within 1 here in Atlanta. 7-6 Vikings lead. Falcons get a field goal. What's going on here, Charles?
So Julio Jones is communicating to Matt Ryan what he's seeing from coverages, how he's being played, and what he thinks is going to be open. And I will guarantee you, he's not just talking about himself. He's talking about who else might be open on certain routes. Matt Ryan told me last year, Julio Jones is one of the best communicators as a wide receiver back to the quarterback that he's played with.
So 7-6. Minnesota will get the ball back. Sherrills will take a knee, and they'll start from their own 25. From the producers of American Horror Story and The People vs. O.J. Simpson comes a new series on Fox, told through the eyes of first responders, starring Angela Bassett, Peter Krause, and Connie Britton. 9-1-1 series premiere this January.
I wonder how many shots at the snake he had to take.
For me, it would be none. I am not doing a shot with a snake. Rhodes, he's not being attended to by the training staff, but he just looked off on the sideline.
He's been nursing a calf injury the last few weeks as well and continuing to play.
So here are Minnesota with a 1-point lead at their own 25. Keenum to throw. Back, lets it launch far side. Diving attempt to Thielen. Did he haul it in bounds? He did. They're discussing now. That would be his first catch of the game. No, incomplete. First target of the game, too. Let's look again. Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Only one. Watch the feet. There's 1 foot down, and the second foot has to come down inbound. So he's okay there, but it's the second one. And that's up in the air, and it comes down out of bounds.
So Minnesota's had a couple of those today near the sideline.
That one he's okay, but where's the second one? Up in the air, and he ends up over the sideline and doesn't get the second foot down.
So it's 2nd down and 10. McKinnon in the game at tailback. Diggs in motion now. And they'll give to McKinnon. Sprinting near side, tries to get to the edge, and that gets decked by Alford. Game break time. Let's say hello to Kurt Menefee.
Well, hello there, Kevin. Green Bay says hello to a touchdown here. Jamal Williams, the rookie out of BYU, 3rd touchdown in the last 2 games. More importantly, gives them the lead at 10-7 as they try to stay alive in the playoff hunt. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
And Aaron Rodgers practiced this week. So if they could somehow stay alive, maybe get Rodgers back.
You got to give him an opportunity by winning today.
3rd down and 8 for Minnesota. Movement and a flag. And
Neutral zone infraction, number 98. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
boy, that's the 6th penalty on Atlanta. They're the 9th least penalized team in the league, so it's a little uncharacteristic today.
We talked about how fired up both of these teams are, and so that makes you a little jumpier. Takk McKinley, the rookie, got into the neutral zone. Riley Reep, the veteran left tackle, immediately came out of his stance in order to draw the flag.
Ricardo Allen, the free safety, comes down to guard Adam Thielen now with the Falcons short in the secondary. Allen's a former cornerback, by the way. Here's Keenan, pressure, and he's buried! That'll make up for the penalty. It's Takk McKinley. He's got a sack in 3 straight games.
#1 draft pick for Atlanta this year. This is why they drafted him, okay? Because McKinley, with his get-off and explosiveness, gets to the upfield shoulder of Reef. And what they did was they brought Adrian Clayborn at the same time. And Reef was wondering, do I stay here for Clayborn inside 99? And McKinley's speed beat him upfield and got to Keenum.
So the pass rush has been a factor for the Falcons today against a team that does not yield any sacks. But they've got 2 of Thielen, and they'll punt on a 4th and long. High kick. Roberts looking for a return from the 29. Up the gut, and that hole closed quickly with C.J. Ham, who's been everywhere today, the fullback. And Atlanta will take over. Dan Quinn saying, let's go! Let's go! Back in Atlanta, 7-6 Vikings over the Falcons with this gorgeous new stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, he has done a wonderful job. Always so hospitable to us, the broadcasters, when we come here. So it's a pleasure to be here with Arthur in his brand new house. Here's Coleman, sprinting left, and Tevin Coleman with a good run. Let's get a report from Pam Oliver down the field, Pam.
Yeah, Kevin, as you know, every receiver wants the ball, but Mohamed Sanu was a little fired up when he came off the field after the Falcons' last possession. Sanu angrily repeated to wide receivers coach Raheem Morris with Dan Quinn in the vicinity, "Get me the ball."
I like it.
Loves his matchup and how they've been going about moving the ball against this Vikings team in the first half, Pam. A lot of first down passes against their vanilla defense.
They give it to Gabriel on the jet sweep, and Gabriel is out for a first down. So a little different look from Steve Sarkisian as Taylor Gabriel gets the ball. He's done that before. It's his 13th career carry.
He had a 15-yard reverse against Dallas. They'd like to get him the ball into some type of open space or just get it to him quickly so he can make a play. They love wide receiver screens with him as well. His nickname's Turbo for good reason.
They bring the fullback in, Derek Coleman. They don't use a fullback all that often. And by the way, Xavier Rhodes is back in the game. We showed him limping when he went off. There he is against Julio Jones. First down, they'll pitch it. Coming near side. Coleman looking for a seam and wiggles his way out to the 49-yard line. The run game. Steve Sarkisian said it. It is a must. It's our identity.
When you talk with him, you talk with Dan Quinn, you mention identity. And Dan Quinn will tell you what we want to be built on offensively: a kick-butt run game, play action passes and bootlegs, and win on third down. And that's what they've been doing in this 3-game winning streak. Tevin Coleman carrying the load as a runner.
And in some of the recent games they've won, the run game has been huge late. Even game in Atlanta. It's a one-pointer. Vikings in front. 2-minute warning. Well, it's been a pretty even game. Falcons have almost doubled up the yards now, but this has been a pretty good matchup. Kind of what we thought with two NFC playoff teams right now, at least if it ended, the season ended today. So here are the Falcons on second down. 2 minutes to go in the half. They've got all 3 timeouts, too. The throw is Ryan. Stands in. Going deep. Going far side for Jones. Incomplete as he overthrew him. And again, the coverage by Xavier Rhodes. So, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. What's coming next here in this game?
Well, we're seeing a pretty even matchup, as you said. I mean, there's really no advantage. So, as Atlanta likes to say, it's all about the ball. So who's going to create turnovers? Who's going to get takeaways and give their team an advantage as this game goes on? Minnesota's in the plus category for the season. Atlanta minus. But when Atlanta went to the Super Bowl last year, that's how they got there, taking the ball away.
Try to get away from you. Your hands are strong. Third down. 3rd and 4 for the Falcons. 4-man rush. Ryan knocked away. Oh, Mackenzie Alexander saw it all the way.
Not only did he see it, he trusted it. You often hear about guys seeing plays, but do you trust what you see and do you fire? And he did. Got inside of Sanu and made the play on Marvin Hall because he trusted his instincts, and that's a big knockaway by Mackenzie Alexander.
Sure is. So Bosher will punt it away. There's Sherrills. Sherrills calls a fair catch inside the 10. It's a Minnesota with 1:44 to go in the half and 2 timeouts. Halftime show is coming up in a moment. Let's find out with Kurt Menefee what we look forward to here.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Titans go head-to-head with the Texans. The Bills fantasize about beating the Patriots. And the Chiefs set their lineup against the Jets. Put down that cheat sheet. The Visa halftime is next.
Hey, B, what is the BN next to Glaze's name?
I'm just wondering what Glaze was wearing there. They all have on suits, and Glaze has on like a...
But do I know the BN position?
I think that would be on the bench.
Oh, my bad.
That would be the bench. We love you, Glaze. 1st and 10, Vikings. 1:44 to go in the break. They're going to have a draw here. And it was well played by Deion Jones. Again, so timeout situation, Vikings do, but so does Atlanta if they feel the need to try and save some time as this drive goes along.
Do either one of them actually want to, or do they want to just get to the half at 7-6?
An interesting question.
That first draw there, you often run it seeing if something pops, and if you get great field position, then you go from there. Since that one didn't pop, I would suspect that they aren't going big down here.
That's Thielen against Alford. Thielen, no catches in this first half. Remember, 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards coming into today. Keenum over the middle. That's Jarius Wright, who's wide open. And he's got a first down for Minnesota out to the 23.
And now they've got the timeout because they got a little bit of room.
Right. So they get the breathing room. They call a timeout with 1:01 to go and a first down coming. And a game break as we check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to Green Bay. You guys are going to love this one. Packers were up 10-7. Jameis Winston sacked by Kenny Clark. Recovered by Dean Lowry. Big boy takes it all the way. Shocking, I know, but it's Lowry's first touchdown. He's going to celebrate doing it the way they do in Green Bay. Little Lambeau leap. He's got his team up 17-7. Kevin?
Oh, Dean got in there.
Carissa, do you think that he was running, was he trying to find the low part of the wall? The lowest section, where can I get? Congratulations, Dean Lowry, the Northwestern man.
Case Keenum, 8 of 12, 64 yards passing so far. 4-man rush here. Pressure coming. Escapes somehow. Completes to McKinnon. How in the world did he get out of that? And he has a positive play to McKinnon for 5.
And that somewhat sums up Vic Beasley's year, doesn't it?
It does.
15.5 sacks last year. 4 coming into this one. Couldn't quite finish the last play.
Clock ticking. 1 timeout for Minnesota. Again, four-man rush. Keenum lets it go, and he's got a completion for a first down. Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, has it. 32 seconds and counting. He's trying to save that timeout. Pressure, Keenum, far side, incomplete. So if you're thinking about field goal, Charles, watching Forbath in the pregame, he was good from 54 consistently. So you're talking about, you got to get to the 36. There is Forbath. So they got a decent way to go and only one timeout here with 20 seconds to go in the half.
Still trying to create a play for Adam Thielen as well.
Vikings need about 25 yards here in 20 seconds to try a field goal. Keenum hangs in, pressure hit as he throws, and got a completion to Floyd, and Floyd makes his way out near midfield, and the Vikings will have to call their final timeout with 12 seconds to go. Now they got a chance.
That was a nice play by Michael Floyd, understanding his quarterback is under duress, and as he gets hit, can't get everything he wants on. In fact, that ball was tipped by number 90, Derek Shelby. Watch Shelby go in and get his hands on the throwing arm of Case Keenum, and the ball comes out fluttery. But Michael Floyd recognized and came back and snatched the football out of the air before Atlanta could make a play on it.
That'll be forever known as the armpit throw from Case Keenum. So here's what we got. No timeouts left. Realistically, they've got to get inside the 40 to have a shot. So they need about 12 more yards just out of watching Forbath from pregame warm-ups. Four-man rush. Keenum looking. Keenum throws. He's got a completion. No timeout, so Thielen tackled in bounds. They're never going to get it off. 2 seconds. 1 second. That's it. That's the half. It took too long. Keenum held on to it. They had a completion, but in the middle of the field, no chance. And that's how we go to break with a 7-6 lead for Minnesota. Let's take a look at some fun from Week 12. Sounds from the field. Brought to you by Walmart.com. Now offering free 2-day shipping.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legend.
So for the most part, the defenses have been on display today, limiting the big plays, and close game as we thought, 7-6 at the break. Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. I know there's something that you would like to see a little bit more in the second half.
I think for both teams, press the run a little bit more because both teams are struggling on third down. Minnesota's 2 of 5, Atlanta 1 of 6. Run the football, take the short gains, get yourself into third manageable, and see if you can move the ball a little bit better that way. Big plays are at a premium against both defenses.
Yeah, and the times they have run, they've had success, right? Both teams are averaging 4.7 a carry. Murray's had some big runs. Freeman has 2.
Only 12 runs, I believe, for each team in the first half. I would press it a little bit more.
Atlanta starts with the ball, and they'll start from their own 25, and we start this half with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. Mike Zimmer's biggest concern is the Falcons' play action on offense. He said defensively, we need to do a better job. Feels that they're doing okay, though, in the red zone. Now for Dan Quinn, he told the team what he told us the other day. This is going to come down to the very end, so we have to be prepared for that. We've been in this environment before. Back to you.
Certainly feels that way, doesn't it? That's what Dan Quinn told us. We got to spend a lot of time with the Falcons head coach of the day in his office and talking about this team and about finishing, which they've done better lately, but it's been kind of a theme for them.
But they still feel that they're in too many games down the stretch that are tight that they had control of earlier.
They blew the whistle because they never, there's something on the field apparently in which they
might not have,
off.
Did they get the kicking tee?
I think that's what it was.
That's always the key.
The tee was still on the field, so thankfully somebody caught it and they went and got it.
Did you see that one in college earlier this year? I think Boise State has a tee retriever, which is a dog.
I love that.
It's awesome.
So here are the Falcons. They start with Freeman in the backfield. And they start by faking it to him. Pressure on Ryan, but his completion to Toilolo, the tight end. And Toilolo muscles his way forward for a 9-yard gain. And there's the play action that Pam just told us about.
Pam nailed it. And that's pretty much how they began the game as well, that same type of play action. Remember, with Minnesota, they believe that they're going to see more vanilla coverages, more basic coverages, stacking the line of scrimmage on first and second down. It's third down that Minnesota really confuses you. They're trying to get ahead of that by throwing the ball in the early downs.
Second and 1, Devontae Freeman, first down, and more for Devontae Freeman, and a penalty comes from back in the secondary. Big run for Freeman. We had a big one called back earlier in the day.
And that one came from the back judge, Sean Hockley, from deep center field.
That certainly looks like it's on Minnesota from where that flag came from.
During the run, holding, defense, number 98. That 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the run. First down.
So Linval Joseph was probably holding an offensive lineman, trying not to let him get out and block. So that'll be right in here. Let's see in the middle. See Joseph right there, got a grasp of 51 Alex Mack and actually hauled him down with his left arm. He was trying to keep Mack from being mobile and getting upfield to the second level to block.
And keep in mind again, left guard 63, Ben Garland. Andy Levitri went out early with a tricep, so Garland's been in there for most of this game, but they like him. On first down, fake to Freeman. Ryan has time, going far side. Sanu's got it. Leaping grab, first down for Sanu. He told Pam Oliver, I want the ball. He just got it and delivered.
And he was able to see the play happen. Watch Rhodes 29. He's got his back to the football, but Sanu sees it happening and goes back and gets it before Rhodes can break and drive back towards the ball. That's being able to keep eyes on your quarterback with the back of the defensive back away from it.
Got him a little smile at a touchdown pass last week. It's Derek Coleman, the fullback, in motion. First down, pitch to Freeman. Looking for the edge, gets it, upfield goes Devontae Freeman. See Everson Griffin peering up at the giant video monitors here.
He's trying to see the blocking pattern.
Yeah.
Trying to see how they tried to block him as he tried to string that one out. Everson Griffin, a proud father for the third time over Thanksgiving.
See where those are, Charles? They're a circle on the roof. There's 6 stories, I think.
Yeah, the halo boards.
It's unbelievable. It's really unique and different and cool. Second down and 6. Tevin Coleman in the game at running back now. As Freeman gets a break. They'll pitch it to Coleman. And Coleman gets inside the 30 where he's going to take it out. And a nice job by Everson Griffin to not be fooled.
Unblocked, stays on his feet, is 6'3", 273. And watch him make the play to the left of your screen, number 97 in white. But right there, he's even with Tevin Coleman. Plays the angle very well so Coleman can't outrun it and shoves him over the sideline. That's well played by the defensive end, Everson Griffin.
He was the only one that didn't fall for the fake, really. And now a third and short. Atlanta will be 1 of 6 on third down. Ryan, 4-man rush. Stands in over the middle. Low throw. Is it a catch? And it looks like it is. I'm waiting for a signal. It is indeed a catch.
Look how Sanu goes down. Now, if I'm Minnesota, I'm going to have a talk about that one. Because he got a left hand under, but I don't know that that's control. To me, that ball is hitting the turf and is an incomplete pass.
Well, that's why Atlanta rushed to the line there. Let's get another look.
See how he's working it? Does he have control with those hands?
Challenging the ruling on the field of a catch. We'll review the play.
To me, the ball is hitting the ground before he has firm control of the football with his hands.
So I agree with you, but why not go to our rules expert, who we always trust the opinion of Dean Blandino back in L.A. And Dean, I know you say sometimes the movement of the ball is okay. This looks a little different, though, right?
Yeah, you're looking at movement versus loss of control, but the key issue here is when does he establish control? The hands are apart, the ball's going to touch the ground before he gets control of it, and then he's going to pull it into his body. It's close, but to me there's enough evidence to overturn this to an incomplete pass, and that's why Coach Zimmer threw the flag right away.
You know why I like you, Dean? Because you agree with me. Exactly why I like you. But here's the thing.
Hey, if the three of us agree, then it's got to be over.
It's got to
Yeah,
come,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But that was a 3rd and short for Atlanta. Exactly the situation that you want against the Minnesota defense, and it was a misfired pass because Sanu was wide open. That ball was thrown low, too low, and he had to make a big-time play on it.
So
that's one that was a missed opportunity.
You're right. It was a low throw. They went for it. Remember, earlier in the game on 4th down converted, it led to a field goal. This would be
After
a 4th and
reviewing
short.
the play, the ruling on the field has been changed. It is an incomplete pass. Therefore, it will be 4th down and 3 from the 29-yard line on the left hash mark. Minnesota is not charged their timeout as they are successful in their challenge.
Yeah.
Kick the field goal here.
That's what they're doing.
There's no reason to press it here. You put this one through the pipes, you're now in the lead in this football game. And we see how much of a grinder this one is. What did Dan Quinn tell Pam Oliver? This is coming down to the wire. Take the points, Atlanta.
So Matt Bryant will come on for his 3rd field goal try of the game. He's hit from 38. He's hit from 36. And this one will be 47 yards for Matt Bryant. This would put Atlanta in front. Bryant, good again. 42 years old, still kicking it like a kid. And the Falcons retake the lead as Bryant 3 for 3 on field goals today. 9-6 game here in Atlanta. Falcons just retook the lead on Matt Bryant's 3rd field goal of the day. Or 9-7, should say. Can't read the screen apparently, Charles. That's a 7, not a 6.
Well, when you get a field goal, you know, you're not thinking that extra.
I'm thinking field goal.
Exactly.
The extra point did hit the post, by the way, so there you go.
Can give a half.
Here's Sherrills taking it out with room. Sherrills breaks through out across the 30. Don't see many good returns out of that end zone, but that time a good one. Well, this week in NFL players lacing up, letting their cleats do the talking. It's part of My Cause, My Cleats. Players supporting charitable causes through cleats that are custom designed and inspired by their causes. Discover the stories. Bid on special edition cleats. NFL.com/mycause/mycleats. You know what I'd have on my cleats if I were playing? A picture of the moon. Because I would love to go to the moon.
And how long do you think it'd take you to get there?
Hour and a half.
Easy flight. Day trip.
Yeah, be easy. That would be a heck of a trip. Here we go to Latavius Murray. I mean, just saying, that would be a fun vacation. Here's a penalty flag back behind the play.
I like your optimism, George Jetson, as we get this flag here.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So to the right of your screen, 69 white, you see the hand right there on Keanu Neal, the safety, who still makes a play on Latavius Murray before it gets cleaned up behind him. Rashad Hill been filling in for Mike Remmers over the last 4 games and has acquitted himself nicely.
First and 20 now, and they will run it, and that is going to go absolutely nowhere. Ricardo Allen may be one of the more underrated players in the league on defense.
And Dan Quinn and Marquand Manuel, the defense coordinator, they had a bead on this one because they brought Ricardo Allen. Watch 37, ended up filling in the gaps here. And they don't have a blocker assigned to him, and he helps get there and helps stack it up and ends up getting a piece with Vic Beasley, give a primary tackler.
It's really a great story. He was a practice squad guy a few years ago. He was a cornerback. And then Dan Quinn came and said, you know what, you can tackle. I'm going to put you at safety. And he's really flourished here under Dan Quinn. 2nd and 22. The fake. Claiborne coming on pressure. Thielen evades. Looking. Tossing it out of bounds. And a penalty as Beasley was in pursuit. Boy, the Falcons hold coverage forever back there in the secondary. Let's see what the penalty is. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? I think that's what it is.
But look at the bottom of your screen. He's still pump faking.
Illegal forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage by the offense. 5-yard penalty plus loss of down. 3rd down.
So what they're judging is that his entire body was over the line of scrimmage when he let the ball go. right there is on the unofficial line, but as he lets it go, he's in the air, and the official here spies it. Jim Mello, the down judge.
They could challenge it. Doesn't appear that Mike Zimmer will. And what it'll mean is a 3rd down and 25 as this place gets loud. Have to get to the 40. They're going to dump it off to McKinnon over the middle, looking for room, and he's going to be well shy of a 1st down. And so, punt is coming for Minnesota as it gets chippy down there at midfield.
You mentioned it a couple of plays ago. This Falcons secondary, Desmond Trufant not playing today, starter at left corner.
Yes.
Brian Poole, their starter at nickel corner, not playing today. Filling in with Bleedy Ray Wilson. Ricardo Allen changing positions from free safety to nickel corner. CJ Goodwin coming into play. This Falcons secondary has acquitted itself very well throughout this ball game.
I mean, consider that Adam Thielen has, in this game, 1 catch. Again, 3rd best receiver in the NFL yardage-wise this year. Defense, both teams doing it today. Here's a punt by Quigley. Roberts calls fair catch. Does so at the 29, and that's where Atlanta will take over with 9:40 to go in this 3rd quarter. Atlanta D getting pressure. The secondary with Ricardo Allen leading the way. Here comes Matt Ryan back on the field with a 2-point lead. You know, Charles, I say start him early, right? The whole Vikings crew, I love it. What a great picture.
I think someone wants to see a little more offense.
Falcons football, their lead by 2. 9:40 to go in this 3rd quarter, and Matt Ryan to throw it. Throwing it incomplete, getting wide open that time is Mohamed Sanu, who's worked his way out to the 43 and a 14-yard pickup on 1st down.
It's one thing to go to the bench and demand the football. It's another thing to deliver. And Mohamed Sanu, as Pam Oliver told us, called for the ball, wants it, and he's been delivering ever since.
Sanu, 3 catches for 43 yards. Julio Jones coming off the 12-catch, 253-yard performance. Just 1 catch today for 13 yards. Fake to Freeman. Pressure blitz coming. It's picked up. Ryan lets it go for Jones. Incomplete. A lot of traffic there. Sendejo is there. Jones looking for a flag. Incomplete.
Kevin, Mike Zimmer had enough of this 1st down pass game. Sendejo makes a nice play in the secondary, knocking that one away from Julio Jones. But what Zim did was bring Harrison Smith, his Mr. Fixer, safety, and brought him on a blitz. 1st down. Okay, you guys want to keep running down on 1st down, want to throw the ball? I've got an answer for you. And he pressured him on that last one.
Freeman makes a man miss, and then dives forward, and we get a penalty as well. So it's a gain of 2. Let's see what the penalty. Maybe moving back.
Yeah, Tom Hill, the field judge, had that call.
Illegal block in the back. Number 14 offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That's 2 on Justin Hardy for blocks in the back. Game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to Baltimore. Detroit trying to stay alive in the NFC playoff hunt. This will help. They were down 20-0 when Theo Riddick caps off a 75-yard drive with that 4-yard run. Ravens still lead 20-7. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
Carissa, thanks. Remember we showed you earlier, Kansas City was up 14-0 on the Jets. Losing 21-17. 3rd down and 8. Here comes the blitz. Ryan just going to heave it. Deep downfield looking for Gabriel. Can't catch up to it. Incomplete as Wayne's on the coverage and a punt is coming.
And here comes the pressure. See everybody coming towards the line of scrimmage? And look at how Harrison Smith eventually works his way free. And Matt Ryan steps away from the pressure and puts it up there in hopes that Taylor Gabriel can run under it. Excellent coverage downfield by Trey Waynes.
We talked about it earlier. 3rd and long against Minnesota. Nearly impossible. Atlanta today 0 for 4 and 3rd in anything 7 yards or more. It's been one of the stories. Bosher. And there's a penalty. Bosher got hit here. And let's see what the penalty is.
Now, will it be running into or roughing?
running into is not a first down because it's a 4th and 8.
It'd be a 5-yard penalty.
Let's watch. I thought he got hit. Went down.
You could make a case from Minnesota's side. Was he blocked into him?
Yeah, that or maybe even a hold.
And that's Danielle Hunter, number 99.
Interesting call from Brad Allen.
Holding. Kicking team, number 36. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 4th down.
Yeah, so they'll move it back and they'll punt again.
So right here, Kamal Ishmael grabs Danielle Hunter. I can tell you, Kevin, when I played at Tennessee, we were playing Alabama, and we're getting ready to punt late in the game. And if we punt and get it downfield successfully, we win the game. Cornelius Bennett, remember Biscuit Bennett? Great career in the NFL. He's over me. I did the exact same thing. I just tackled him and said, if you're going to throw a flag, throw it. Because there's no way he's blocking this punt.
So Bosher moves back 10, punts it away. Booming high kick. Sherrills calls a fair catch. What a job by Bosher. After the penalty, sets up and delivers a 54-yard punt and no return. As we get some talk on the field, these two teams have had the chatter going a little bit here today.
You mentioned playoff atmosphere, and I think it's a healthy chatter of real recognizing real. They know that these two teams, both teams know the other one's got some juice.
Minnesota football down by 2 in the 3rd. There's been one touchdown drive of the game. Minnesota had it on a short field because of their defense, and they ran the ball 7 of the 9 plays. That's been it. Defenses have both played well. And again, Atlanta without 2 of their top 3 cornerbacks today. The Thielen makes just his 2nd catch of the day as Allen is there on the stop with Alford. Well, how about this royalty in the house today? Hall of Famer, the great Fran Tarkenton is here. And Charles got a chance to talk to him on the field before the game. He told a great story as Minnesota's going quick to the line now. We'll try and get to it in a minute. He lives in Atlanta, of course, went to Georgia. Here's Murray in the flat. Plants that left foot. Latavius Murray has a first down. So Tarkenton addressed the team last night, and with him, he brought the football from his first ever game, a game where he scored 5 touchdowns, and a game that he only played 3 quarters.
4 passing, 1 rushing.
Yes.
And it was the first ever game of the Minnesota Vikings franchise. They beat the Chicago Bears. He came off the bench, thought he was going to start that week, and at the last minute, Norm Van Brocklin, the head coach, started, I believe, George Shaw. And Fran Tarkenton came in, rescued them. They won their first game and then lost their next God knows how many. They were an expansion team.
It's a heck of a start, by the way, though. 5 touchdowns in your first one as Murray. Not much on first down. Funny is, a couple years ago, now this year, Deshaun Watson had that type of game, so tied that rookie record, right? A couple years ago, Marcus Mariota at Tennessee had 4 passing touchdowns in the game. So Tarkenton said, yeah, I texted him congrats. However, you didn't have the rushing touchdown.
Pride from the Hall of Famer. And he he likes the way Case Keenum plays because there are some similarities in movement. We haven't seen much of that today with Keenum.
Keenum has time here, though, and a lot of it. Now some pressure, standing, looking, delivering, complete. Keenum bought a lot of time, and he's got the completion to Diggs for a first down. He just had forever, but he hung in there and delivered in a gain of 19.
So if you tie this back to Fran Tarkenton, earlier in his career, Tarkenton probably would have taken off and gone. But how about Stephon Diggs not giving up on the route and finding open space and signaling to his quarterback while Keenum does a fantastic job of keeping it alive with movement and then finding Diggs downfield.
On first down, it's McKinnon dancing, sprinting left, has room, and McKinnon with a nice patient run. He's down to the 44, and he's got 7 yards.
I go back to what Mike Zimmer told us prior to the game. We need extra yards after contact. Well, this play should have been done right here. Beasley misses. Now watch him bounce out to the left. Deion Jones has a chance, doesn't get him. He's able to turn the corner and get a positive yardage on a play that should have been a negative run.
Both teams have run it pretty well today. Murray back in the game at tailback. Give it to him. Murray. Belted by Keanu O'Neal. Stays up. But then the rest of the Falcons come for help. Keanu O'Neal is like a heat-seeking missile.
You can see why the Cam Chancellor comparisons come into play. Look at it from the second level, and he just comes right away. You mentioned heat-seeking. He was seeking number 25 and found him.
Minnesota today 2 of 4 on 3rd and short. This a 3rd and 3. Four-man rush. Keenum looking, finding Treadwell, who bobbled, but he's got a first down. He almost dropped it, but he corralled it, moved forward to the 35, and it moves the chains.
Nice job by Treadwell, but look at Keenum stepping up into the pocket. Treadwell stays with it as he really triple caught it and turned it into a first down.
Only his 15th catch of the year as they'll stay on the ground near side for a short gain.
But how about the movement of Keenum there? You know what it reminded me of? Of a fencer. Watch the movement of him, okay? Now watch here. Now watch the move at the end as he climbs. See how he just kind of shuffled up to create the proper space and make the throw. Eyes downfield, just like a fencer would in the Olympics. Forward, backward, right? How about that balance he had and put it right on him?
That might be the greatest, if not the only ever fencing analogy on an NFL game ever. That was impressive. So was that play by Keenum. 2nd down and 8 now. They try on the jet sweep coming near side. And Diggs is hog-tied out of bounds inside the 30 by Devondre Campbell, and that will bring up a 3rd down. We'll call it 3rd and 3.
If you're Atlanta, you can't get frustrated, but you've got to figure out how to make that play that's initially there. On that jet sweep, there was a defender right there with an arm that could have taken him down. He stepped out of it and made it a 3rd and short. Haven't called Kyle Rudolph's name in a long time, and he's a primary target in these situations.
Falcons call a timeout. They will discuss it here. So their first timeout of the half, and a big play in a 3rd and 2. Minnesota in field goal range, but looking for more. Back to Atlanta in a moment. If you're on the field, right? Everybody's signaling, and that's why they call the timeout, because this is a big play. Dan Quinn has said, hey, one message, let's go. 3rd down for Minnesota and 3. Keenum looking, delivering, he's got it. Now the spot, it's right, and he should have the first down, and he does. Another good throw from Case Keenum, and it moves the chains.
And watch how watch Keenum's eyes, looking for his target, comes off of that progression, and goes to Jarius Wright, who did a really nice job of finding where the first down marker was and setting up strong, presented his numbers right back to the quarterback, and caught it for the first down.
Case Keenum now 18 of 23, 172 yards, and a touchdown. He's been doing what he's been doing for the last month. He's playing great. Murray. This run inside the 20. And Murray's going to pick up 6. With 2:07 to go in this 3rd quarter, as Riley Reiff was a little slow getting up that time. This is a long drive. This will be the 12th play of this drive. It's over 6 minutes long already for Minnesota. The 2 running backs in this game. Murray had a big run, 30 yards to set up their touchdown. McKinnon has a touchdown catch. Here's Murray running right, finds a hole, and Murray is going to be about a yard shy of a first down, so a 3rd and 1.
Get the sense that Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, feels like they've got something going when they run to the right. That means Pat Elflein, 65 at center. Joe Berger, 61 right guard. Rashad Hill, 69 at right tackle. They're making something happen on this drive when they move the ball to that right side of the line.
The Vikings are 4 of 8 on 3rd down. This is the 13th play of the drive. 3rd and 1. Keenum. Murray. Big hole. Latavius Murray inside the 10.
And they broke it back right, but the center, Pat Elflein, I think is having a really nice day because he's going up essentially against Alex Mack, who plays center. See how Elflein climbs to the second level? Berger takes the nose that was over top of him and creates the gap.
7-yard run. They go quick here. They run it again to Murray, patiently running. And he runs into a Taba Rubin at about the 6.
But what I mean for Elflein is he's not playing against Alex Mack because Alex Mack plays center for the Falcons. But the presence of Alex Mack, maybe the best center in the league, young rookie wants to prove himself as well in a game where that guy's playing. So watch Elflein, 65, gets to the second level. Berger takes care of Rubin. Elflein gets to Deion Jones, 45, and look at the space that's created.
Vikings knocking on the door as we head to the fourth quarter. They're down by 2, but in position to take the lead. Well, there's former President Jimmy Carter, wife Rosalind here in attendance. He's had a lot of these events in Atlanta, supporting the hometown team. Vikings knocking on the door to start this fourth quarter. They're down 2, but they've got a second down and goal from the 6. Keenum looking, lofting, Enzo Rudolph, touchdown! And Minnesota retakes the lead.
And this is going to be Kyle Rudolph's 12th catch of the season in the red zone. Little stick nod route, fakes it to the outside, cuts back to the inside, and look at the offensive line provide the coverage there. The pass protection for Keenum to step up and throw a strike.
That was a monster drive. 15 plays, 89 yards, 8:15 off the clock, and the extra point by Forbath is perfect. Case Keenum delivering again. The Vikings march down the field, and the go-ahead touchdown to Kyle Rudolph right there. We'll be back in 30 seconds as we hear these messages from Lowe's. Is the longest scoring drive of the year for Minnesota. Once again, 15 plays, 89 yards. It took 8 minutes off the clock, and consider that was after the great Bosher punt pinned him all the way down.
Gave the Atlanta defense a great opportunity, and Minnesota turned that around. And how about that? You mentioned this drive, picking up third downs, getting it done. 3 for 3 on that drive, picking up third downs.
So the Vikings back in front. Here is Roberts on the kick return, and he was looking for some room, and now he's got it. Made something out of nothing there as he gets out to the 23. Start your day with First Things First. Join Chris Carter, Nick Wright, Jenna Wolf, the best sports show on TV. Wednesday mornings, weekday mornings, 6:30 Eastern on FS1. So right now, Vikings, 2 touchdowns, 1 to McKinnon, 1 to Rudolph, both coming off the arm of Keenum. And Atlanta's had to settle for 3 field goals on their drives. That's the difference. Because other than that, it's been a pretty even game. Pitch to Coleman. Bobbles nearly fumbled, but corrals it. And ends up picking up 3 yards.
To your point, this game, this pace, this scoring obviously favors Minnesota. Mike Zimmer, give me 21 points and I'm going to win. And the numbers bear that out when you look back over his time. All right, Mike Zimmer talked about that to me a couple of years ago. They were 20-3 when they scored 21 points or more from 2014 to 2016, 8-2 this year. This is the type of game he wants.
Second down, Ryan, pressure comes, incomplete. Heavy pressure in the face of Matt Ryan that time. Linval Joseph was there. And another 3rd and long.
Look at the pressure up the middle. Joseph pushing it, which allows for him to get some contact on Matt Ryan, unable to step into a throw.
3rd down. Remember, the Falcons came in the best 3rd down team in the league. They're 1 of 8 today. And Julio Jones, who had a 253-yard week last week, has 1 catch in this game. Xavier Rhodes has been on him for 95% of the day. He's on him again, bottom of your screen. Third down. Pressure coming. Griffin. Ryan still on his feet. Ryan thinks about running. Not a good choice as he's taken down by Barr and a punt coming.
And what was the down and distance again?
Long.
3rd and 7. That favors Minnesota in a huge way. Allows them to get exotic on defense. Here comes the pass rush. This time they only rush 4 and drop everyone into coverage and take away the angles. And how about Anthony Barr? Recognizing Matt Ryan trying to scramble, closes the gap, and puts him on the deck.
So after the touchdown drive, Minnesota D forces a 3 and out. It doesn't get any better than that. Bosher with the kick. It's another gem. Cheryl's thinking about a return. And not much room. Great job by Bosher.
There you go, Levine. There you go.
Another good punt. That 56 yards. But Case Keenum, he's had nothing but smiles. Vikings have won 7 in a row, and they're leading here. Well, so that was the last drive in Minnesota. Then they force a 3 and out, right? And you think about this. On the 2 touchdown drives that Minnesota's had today, they've run the ball 18 times, only passed it 8. Every other time they've had the ball, only 5 runs, 18 passes. And so now, what do they do on this particular drive? I know what you want them to do, Charles. But they'll throw it. Keenum over the middle. He's got Rudolph, who is wide open and fighting Falcons up for an 8-yard gain. So with that being said, and with maybe what, a little tired Falcons defense?
You would certainly suspect that. Remember, that last drive was 15 plays, 89 yards, 8:15 I'm going to say they took off the clock. And then it was a 3 and out. That's not a lot of time to recover for the Falcons defense. That first pass there by Minnesota, maybe you see a little fatigue because Rudolph catches it, 2 or 3 Falcons around him. He created extra yardage after the catch.
Sure
That's
did.
exactly what Mike Zimmer's looking for.
A second down now. McKinnon in the game at back. They're going to give it to him. And he's going to work his way forward. Good patient run for what. Let's see where the spot is. He's close to a first down. Looks like he has it. And he does.
We've seen that out of him and Latavius Murray today. Having the patience, which means what? You have the confidence in your offensive line.
Right.
That they're going to create that block and create that space for you, that you don't jam it in there when nothing's there and stack up the run. You press the run only when you know the crease is going to be there.
Left 4-5.
First down. They will run it again. McKinnon, sharp cut, penalty flag flies. Some back behind the line of scrimmage. So let's see what this is. Looks like the indication is on Minnesota. That's Deion Jones, the middle linebacker, who's down.
Personal foul. Illegal chop block, number 62 and 71 offense. 15-yard penalty remains. First down.
So remember, if you're occupied and engaged up top, you can't have a second man in at the legs of a defensive lineman. And that's what we saw there. Reef diving there to try and throw a cutoff block, but he was engaged up top with the guard, number 62, Nick Easton, thus an illegal play.
Deion Jones slow to walk off, at least under his own power. While we have a moment, let's get a game break from Kurt Menefee.
All right, Lions were down 20-0 at Baltimore, but they're relying on Tion Green. Undrafted out of Cincinnati, active for the first time this year, and he gets his first touchdown. They missed the extra point, but they're within 7, 20-13 right now starting the fourth quarter. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
Kurt, you've seen that movie before on the Detroit Lions, haven't you? That's how they operate under Jim Caldwell. If it's late, the Lions are making a charge.
First and 25 after the penalty. Keenum, quick throw, far side, going over there to right, and that's going to get a yard, not much. Roy Reynolds, who came in to replace the middle linebacker Jones, came in on that play. Reynolds, mostly a special teams guy, but he's in there now while Jones went out.
He diagnosed that one well, too.
Possession mainly on that one drive in the second half for Minnesota. That's why they've dominated in that category. Fake the run. Pressure coming. Keenum sees it, delivers. McKinnon on the far side, and he gets eaten up. There is Ricardo Allen. Diagnosing the play.
from an unfamiliar position, too. Normally, they're starting free safety. Knows this defense inside and out. He's playing a lot of nickel corner today. Look at him come up, gets off of the block by Joe Berger, and makes the tackle. And it's no accident. They cross-train their defensive backs under Marquand Manuel, so all of them have a familiarity with all the spots. And look at the Falcons dropping deep here on this down.
That's because it's a 3rd and 26. Quick throw, Thielen near side. Thielen is going to get swarmed. No shot. Allen again, who's playing like a man possessed.
Could not have been a better defensive possession for the Atlanta Falcons. Went out there a little bit tired, 3 and out by their offense, and they went out there and took care of this drive from Minnesota and brought the crowd back into it and maybe a little bit of energy that they can provide for their offense.
Trying to get Julio Jones and this offense going here. 3 field goals, that's been it for an offense that has been on fire coming into today. Quick lead to punch. Roberts to return. High kick. Roberts looking for return. Makes a man miss. Not much there. And the Falcons will start out around their 30-yard line. So Ricardo Allen, the spark on D. Now, can the offense for Atlanta get going? We'll find out. Zimmer told us yesterday, we are well aware of how great Julio Jones is, and I think we'll play him a little different than Tampa did. That graphic shows you all you need to know. 1 catch today, that's it. They're going to run here, though, to Freeman. Devontae Freeman with a good start to the drive. But Jones has been covered a lot, mostly by Xavier Rhodes. Had some help, too.
And this was the first play of the game where Julio dropped one, and then later on, this is his catch. And you notice he's on the move away from him. I think Steve Sarkisian's got to start thinking about getting Julio Jones on the move pre-snap. Make sure he creates some separation, because you see what Xavier Rhodes is able to do? With his body, his length, and strength, he can jostle him and knock him off routes. I want him on the move and create separation to try and get him the football.
Jones, bottom of your screen. And again, there's Rhodes, number 29. They'll run it, though, the opposite side. Freeman, good hold. Still on his feet. Chugging forward near a first down is Devontae Freeman, who is tough as nails, especially when you look at his size. Boy, he can play.
You just mentioned how he finished that run, leaning forward. Remember, he's missed 2 full games and most of the Dallas game with a concussion. So this is his first game back. He's watched his backup, Tevin Coleman, become a primetime runner. You think he's not motivated today? Touching the football, creating plays? He certainly is.
Pro Bowler the last 2 years. And that was a first down. There's Jones in motion, Charles, like you asked for. They'll fake the run. Ryan looking. Going to dump it off to Freeman. And Freeman makes people miss. Still going forward across the 45. Starting to feed Devontae Freeman. He's got 7 on that play.
And they were calling a shot play, a chunk play, an explosive play to Julio Jones. And Matt Ryan had to come off of it because of the coverage and dump it on the backside. But that's why they put him in motion, put him on the move to try and shake him free downfield.
That's Steve Sarkisian up in the booth calling the plays. 2nd and 3. Run it again. Freeman has a hole. Devontae Freeman sprints through. First down into Vikings territory. Going back to that run game just as Sarkisian told us they would.
We spent a lot of time. How did they get Julio Jones free? Watch the fullback here, Derek Coleman. Excellent lead block right there against Eric Kendricks. And look at Mohamed Sanu, number 12, working downfield. He may want the ball, but he also does his part as a blocker downfield. So we're worried about Julio Jones. The Falcons are pressing the running game.
Coleman in the game now in the backfield. That's Sanu in motion as Freeman gets a break, and they'll throw. Ryan looking over the middle, quickly to Coleman. Ball is loose, it's on the ground! And they say, hang on.
Did he catch it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. They rule incomplete on the field. The bobble and an incompletion. Let's look at it.
That's an incomplete pass. He never established control. Kendricks does an excellent job of getting his arms through the arms of Tevin Coleman to break that one up. And the officials were very definite about the call, too, when they came in signaling incomplete.
Julio Jones in the slot this time. Looking that way. Jones breaks a tackle. Julio Jones has a first down. As you said, CD, on the move him around, and then you get that.
Don't make him an easy target. Keep him on the move, different places, outside, inside. And Mackensie Alexander understands the physical nature of Julio Jones, but doesn't bring his arms to try and bring him down. He thought he could just bring body. You've got to bring everything to bring down Julio Jones. 6'3", 220. That's Secretariat out there on the corner.
And so another first down for Atlanta. Coleman in the backfield. Pitch it to him here. Gets a good block from the fullback, but Minnesota all over it. That had potential, that play, but there's Xavier Rhodes with the tackling for him.
And he also got some help from the fixer himself, number 22, Harrison Smith. When things go awry on defense, Mike Zimmer summons number 22 and says, fix it. And look at Smith right there, taking on Coleman, the lead blocker. Does his job. Takes that out, which allows Rhodes to come up behind him and make the tackle. That's good team defense by the Minnesota Vikings.
They line up Devontae Freeman to the bottom. Jones stayed in the huddle there late. Now he goes into the slot. Play clock running down. Second down. Ryan fires. Jones incomplete. He was a little high and out front with the throw.
You really nailed that one too, because coming out of the huddle late allowed him to get away from Xavier Rhodes. Okay, and now here's Julio coming out late, and Xavier Rhodes is up here. So now they've got the play they want, and they go to it, and they're unable to complete it.
Just let him a little too far. And now a third and long, Charles. 0-5 on third and long. Here's Ryan firing far side complete, but that is not a first down. That will be shy of a first down. Gabriel on the catch, certainly in field goal range. And that's what the Falcons will do. They will try and kick a field goal here to creep to within 2.
I think it's the right move for them based on what their defense did the last possession, where the defense rose up. Take the points here and get yourself into a spot where if your defense holds, all you need is a field goal.
Bryant has hit all 3 that he's tried today. This from 45 yards. That one, though, is no good.
Looks like the execution is fine. This one just pulls left on Matt Bryant, something you don't see very often.
Big play in this game. Vikings 14-9. Heck of a football game here in Atlanta. This has just been what we thought. Hard fought, well played. 14-9 Minnesota. 4:58 to go, and they'll throw it with the play action. Rudolph is wide open in the stiff arm. All the way out to midfield is Kyle Rudolph. And so here is Matt Bryant, who very rarely misses, but this is a big one.
His first miss of the season from 40 to 49 yards. This one was 47, and he hooks it left. If he makes that one, it's a 2-point game. Atlanta just needs a field goal to win it. Now, they're still in it. Look, they're not out of it by any stretch. They need to hold them here on this drive and give their offense one more opportunity.
Thing is, that was a 10-play, 44-yard drive. Took up 4.5 minutes, and they came up with nothing. Now it's on the defense. Minnesota trying to add to their lead with Murray in the tailback. Give it to Latavius, near side. Murray just running hard. He's got 3. And a third down and long is coming up.
Did you notice how Latavius Murray covered the football? Notice that? They know they're coming for the football, trying to rake it out here.
Timeout on the field. Atlanta took it. We'll be back in 30 seconds after these messages. Second down and 7. By the way, Deion Jones is back in the game, middle linebacker for Atlanta. They'll pitch it. They'll run it. It's McKinnon, who looks for a lead block and gets it. Dives forward. and he stays in bounds, and the clock ticks under 4 minutes to go. So Atlanta with that last timeout now only has one timeout left. So every play is big, and now they have no timeouts left. They just took their final one. So let's just reset this big picture, right? Minnesota in their division, Charles, they're in great shape, right? They're trying for the best record at home field. That's where they are right now. They've won 7 in a row. The Falcons have won 3 in a row, crept back into this division. They got the Saints on Thursday. How big is this game for them?
It is monstrous for both in terms of what you said. Minnesota chasing Philadelphia for best record. Atlanta, even if they drop this one, though, everything's still ahead of them because they finish almost exclusively in their division, and they can take care of business there. But you mentioned Thursday night. Oh, my. That's going to be a big one.
Still 3:59 to go in this one. 3rd down and 4. Keenum looking, firing, wide open is Thielen, who breaks free. Adam Thielen down to the 21. And a gain of 22.
Adam Thielen was so wide open, working C.J. Goodwin, who's playing head up, looks like press man, and he misses on the jam, and Thielen beats him across his face, as they call it, to the inside. How about Keenum? Looks left, comes back right, and throws the dart, and I think he had to have been shocked at how wide open Thielen was. He was expecting to have to throw into a tight window, but Thielen won that route right off the line of scrimmage. Desmond Trufant, normally in that spot, unable to play today.
Meanwhile, Case Keenum is playing a near-perfect game. 25 of 30, 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's Murray on the run. Murray breaking through. And the Vikings trying to put the hammer down here.
They cannot give up any more than a field goal, can Atlanta? Because then it's a touchdown and 2-point conversion. They're still there.
Look at this in the half, Charles. Told you he's having a near-perfect game and actually having a perfect half. 13 of 13.
And the confidence in him. You notice that 3rd and 4, instead of just going in and protecting it, they allowed him to throw the football and pick up a key first down.
2nd and 2. They'll run it with Murray. Murray fighting forward, another first down, and now time is a huge issue because they'll get the 2-minute warning, and that's it. Atlanta has no timeouts remaining, and Minnesota will be happy to let this run down to the 2-minute warning.
Big physical slashing back. They called him the Tay Train in high school, Latavius Murray, and he talked to us about, hey, if I just get to the line of scrimmage and fall forward with my frame at 6'3", 230, that's an extra yard or 2 every time.
Case Keenum and the Minnesota Vikings looking for their 8th straight win, and they're 2 minutes away from getting it. So 2 minutes to go, and the Vikings will be able to kneel and run this game out because Atlanta has no timeouts left, and that's exactly what they line up to do. After the Murray run, no timeouts. That's that. They could take a knee 2 more times, and that will do it. And the Vikings fans here in Atlanta celebrating what will be their 8th win in a row. An unbelievable run considering that they're on their 3rd quarterback when you think about it, right? But Case Keenum is having a Pro Bowl type year. Now let's say it.
No doubt. And I go back to what the Atlanta coaches told us in pregame. If you didn't know who he was and you just watched the tape of the last 7-8 games, you're saying you're preparing for one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. That's the level he's playing.
This was a heck of a football game here today. That is for sure. And Minnesota will earn it. As again, they will take one more after this and run this game out. Bryant missed that field goal, but the way this drive went, it wouldn't have mattered. Look at Keenum. Another outstanding performance after winning Player of the Month. And here is the 2 touchdowns. Here are the 2 touchdown passes today. McKinnon had one.
Little Dirty Bird back in Atlanta, near his hometown, and then the route to Kyle Rudolph in the end zone.
He's been great.
But they trusted him on the drive down the stretch to throw the ball in key situations as well as run it out. That was complimentary football all the way down the field by the Minnesota Vikings.
It's amazing, right? Because playing with a depleted secondary didn't really hurt Atlanta until the end. That's when it got him. Mike Zimmer's crew has won 8 in a row. An impressive win here in Atlanta, 14-9. The Vikings get the W. For Pam Oliver, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt, our entire Fox crew. Many more football to come, much more to come. Time now to send it to Kurt Menefee in L.A.